Hello, everybody. I see the light is okay. It's later in the day. Um, welcome back. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Tetzaveh, and as a reminder that the style that's been coming naturally is to go through the parsha together. I took maybe 10 seconds to look at it prior to our being together, which I find causes a different experience because it's unplanned. And that unplannedness, to me, is one of the true qualities of the Old Testament. So we continue in Exodus and continue in these specific instructions, information regarding all these different components of altar and this moving tabernacle of sorts. And the Parsha opens with this word that rabbis a long time ago named this Parsha for. And a reminder again is that, and I don't know, maybe I'm going to say this every time, it feels so crucial to me that these distinctions and delineations were not in the original text. That these come late, so much further down the line, like more than 1,000 years, which is plenty already, but more than 1,000 years past. The book itself, if we're going to call it a book. Once I said that in a weekend workshop, and some of the people there wrote that quote down, that I said, I don't even know if this is a book. So this Parsha, thank you, begins with, and you Tetzaveh, which usually is translated, my presumption is over 95% of the time, as command. And I don't like being commanded, and I don't feel that in the Hebrew, that kind of forceful, hierarchical, etc., maybe patriarchal. Maybe not. Command, and you command the children of Israel. But the verb itself, inside the root of the verb, because Hebrew is a root-based language. So beautiful. It's very, very, very beautiful. It reminds me of how trees are interconnected under the ground, like aspens or something like that, and how much we don't see that's happening all the time. And biblical Hebrew itself lives it, embodies it. So inside the root is a 2-letter root, and some people they won't do 2-letter roots. That's not me. 2-letter roots, totally, why not? It's an indigenous language, so why wouldn't we have a 2-letter root? I could say much more about that another time. So Shemen Zait, and yes, very good right there. I'm glad my eye caught it, or it caught me. that's one of the experiences you can also have with the Elder Testament. I'm sure it can happen in other texts too, but this is the one I am most closely linked to and connected to and have the most experience with. That there's almost like in from Harry Potter, how something from the page can it comes this way. It's not just me here. It's not just me to the page, it's also the page to me. It's not just me, it's available for anybody. And we're also I'm remembering that it's a metaphor. It's itself, but it's also a microcosm of our relationship with life. Everything with Torah is, in my experience so far. So, okay, with the taking for the olive oil, cool. Who doesn't love olive oil? Leha'alot ner tamid. Excuse me, I'm going back one word. It's the same. We're in the same line. We're in the first. This is all in the first line. That's what I'm saying. It's so jam-packed. Sometimes that's enough. It's enough. What's enough? Sometimes it's enough. Don't have to do the whole parsha. Sometimes the whole parsha is in that first line, or maybe it's the first two words and it's enough. So, la ma'or leha'alot ner tamid. La ma'or, to illuminate, to illuminate, to light. There's no the. Ner tamid. Light always. The always light. The always lamp, this translation says. The continual ever-going never goes out. Tamid, tamid, always, the always light. And this always light is always lit, past, present, and future. Inside of us, inside of you, inside of us, here now. The ner tamid is not contingent on past, present, future, time, or space. The ner tamid, accessible from anywhere. And surely, certainly, some places are easier than others. It's like, oh, this is it's so easy on a beach. It's so easy having a piece of cake. But it's always accessible because it's always available, because it's always. And this is irregardless of any distinctions from one human being to another, the ner tamid, or ner tamid without the. Lighting the ner tamid. And so it's what's most meaningful to you now. What grows that ner tamid for you? What brings you closer to that ner tamid, the always light? I feel it's comforting. So maybe we can just take a moment and imagine or feel or contemplate the Ner Tamid, the always light. When I see this phrase in the Hebrew Ner Tamid, I see that it is true. It is true. Thank you for being with me and Torah today. And if there's more this week, I'll add a second part. Otherwise, I feel full. And maybe you do. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Okay, Shavua Tov. Have a beautiful week.